I remember Morgan's story. We all do, actually. How can you forget? He lived as a stray somewhere in the outskirts of Athens, and one day someone just shot him in the head on February 6, 2016. I guess his intention was to kill him instantly, but Morgan didn't die. He wouldn't. He just ran off, terrified and almost blinded, and stayed hiding in the forest for days until the rescuers finally got to him. I guess it's pointless to get to gruesome details about his injuries and the state of his health. It was obvious that he had lost one eye, but the damage was so big that he was almost left completely blind. I don't know exactly how many surgeries he had to undergo, but he remained hospitalized for 3 whole months, and his recovery was a long, costly, and painful journey of endless tests, operations, and obstacles. His story was shared and reshared by everyone. Parties and events were organized in his honor. His rescuers made a Facebook group dedicated to him, and everyone I know wanted this particular dog to make it, to thrive against all odds. I think the most valuable thing Morgan lost that day was not his sight, but his faith. His faith in us humans, his faith in life. He struggled for months trying to hold on to something that would help him make it through another day, something to live for, something to be happy about. When you rescue a dog like him, you can leave the healing of his wounds to the vets, but the healing of the soul is an entirely different journey that takes patience and persistency and a lot of heart. So eventually Morgan started wagging his tail and enjoying a cuddle and being who he really wanted to be. Dogs like him might make amazing comebacks, but finding a home for such a hurt and complicated dog is never an easy task. But Tonya and Panayotis opened their home for him, armed with patience and love and stubbornness. And in his forever home, Morgan transformed. He went from being to a nobody that you could one day shoot, leave for dead, and go unpunished for it, to being a spoiled, loving pet dog. More than a year later, Morgan honored the charity that stood by him since the beginning. Him and his family joined the Penny Marathon in Athens, along with so many others that have suffered just as much and have come back to life with the will and the strength you rarely see in us humans. Watching Morgan cross the finish line next to his dad was like watching your favorite rock star come on stage. This was the first and only time I saw him really, and I couldn't believe it. There he was, the dog I had followed and admired and respected for so long. There he was with his amazing family who adores him and is more proud of him than you can imagine. I spent about an hour that day just watching him, next to his family, next to his rescuer, proudly wearing his Penny Marathon bandana, not realizing what his story means to all of us. Not realizing that the fact that he made it and thrived is enough of a punishment for the pathetic human who shot him that day. That is until karma gets him. He will probably never pay for his crime in this life, but the happier Morgan is, the more sad, pathetic, and miserable you imagine his abuser to be. There are millions of stray dogs in Greece, and most of them are literally on death row, unless they are rescued before the life on the streets erases them forever. It's just the way it is, and no matter how much we try, we can't save them from the dangers they face every day in the hands of us humans. But once in a while, a story like this one comes along and gives us the strength to keep fighting. To keep fighting for all the dogs like Morgan, who are being shot and poisoned and hanged and drowned alive right now. Right now, as I am narrating this story, and as you are listening to it, a dog that could end up being someone's beloved pet had he been rescued earlier is getting a bullet in the head.